Hello everyone, welcome to the Gas Safe Register Tech Talk, episode 7. So as before, my name is John Palmer. I'm here to kind of host today. We're doing something a little bit different this episode. So we're going to do a bit of a day in the life of with one of our regional investigation officers, Nick Deacon. So hi Nick, do you want to just introduce yourself a little?
Hi there, yes, my name's Nick Deacon. In common with the rest of the inspectors, we work from home, so I'm based in Walsall in the West Midlands. I've had this role, I've worked for the company for 33 years, just about now, and next year I will be celebrating 50 years in the gas industry. Taken on a number of roles in that time. My current role, Regional Investigations Officer, I'm probably enjoying the most. I look forward to every day. I'm not just saying this. I do worry about some jobs before I go out there because you've got such a wide range of work. We cover natural gas, LPG, we cover boats, caravans, all this kind of thing, commercial catering, commercial mobile catering. So you have to have your head screwed on, but every day is different. Because we're locally based, the work can crop up anywhere in the country. I tend to be doing quite a bit of driving, but they do let me travel during work time. This week I've been to Lincolnshire, I've been to Boston. Last week it was Surrey. It's Wiz Beach in
Miles.
Norfolk. Yeah, just clock up the miles. But it's interesting.
Yeah. So what's the main difference really between like a normal inspector and a Rio?
Yeah, and normally inspector, they're going to meet an engineer usually on site. We very rarely see an engineer because the engineers that have done the work have done so illegally, really, and they're either out and out illegal installers or they're registered installers who have gone outside their scope of work. So there's the two types really, but we never meet anybody on site other than the customer. We might have been called in by the environmental health officers to commercial catering, for instance. Um, we might have been called to site by the health and safety directly. This morning, without mentioning any names, I've been called in by trading standards. So we do lots of the work for lots of the government bodies.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's more the illegal work you do, don't you, as a Rio,
yeah,
rather than
yeah.
just normal run-of-the-mill stuff.
hmm
So when you do an investigation, when you turn up to do investigation,
hmm
what does that kind of consist of?
The thing we're always told about investigations: go in, hands in pockets. Don't go in and start messing with things, turning things on and off. We never do that. A lot of it's talking to begin with. We do very little talking. We let the customer or the person on site who's called us in do the talking, and we do a lot of listening. Because just as you find out when you get a fault finding on the boiler, you can get a lot of useful information from the customer, and we get that same kind of information from the person on site who's experienced the particular happening or problem. So lots of listening before we reach for the toolbox. Then we're going to do standard tests like most installers do. We're going to start off with a gas tightness test and work from there. We've already been round and looked at each of the appliances and made sure we've opened cooker lids, all the standard stuff. But we're usually there for a specific purpose. Perhaps it's the boiler that's been installed illegally, and we'll concentrate on that at first before we go off and start relighting other appliances.
So once you've done your investigation, you've had a look around, you've worked
hmm
out, what's wrong, what needs, what's been done. You've done your digging into who's done the work. So you then, after you've done the actual site visit, what would
hmm
be the next steps for you then?
Yep, we take an awful lot of photographs while we're on site because they always help with the report. And anything that's ID or AR, so immediately dangerous or at risk, will include photos of those particular problems in the report. The photograph of the warning notice, photographs of any documentation the customs are able to provide us with. They sometimes come up with a description of the person or a vehicle registration number, or in some cases they give us ring doorbell evidence. So we'll look through the video. We can often see the individual arriving, sometimes using the gas safe register logo on their overalls and the vehicles. Yeah.
There's a technology there.
hmm
So then you write a report on all of that, and
Yep.
then that
We,
report gets sent to the
the,
HSE.
yeah,
the customer. Is that right? Yeah.
yeah, relevant body. And often after that, we'll get in touch with us and say, can we have a witness statement? That's usually if they're going to progress it to court. So we do a witness statement and we introduce our report then as part of the evidence.
Okay, yeah, because obviously a lot of people kind of misunderstand what the role of the register is. We don't have powers of prosecution or powers of entry or anything like that. So it's not the gas safe register that decides whether. So it's not you yourself who decides to whether to prosecute or take them to court. That's purely down to the HSE.
Yep.
So we just do the evidence gathering on their behalf.
Yep, and try and make it as full and factual as we can, and they're more likely to take it up then.
Oh, okay. So another thing, I do a lot of kind of inspector events and some of the trade events, and I invariably get asked or accused of. They say the register don't do enough regards illegal gas work, and I always tell them the same thing really. That we will investigate every report of illegal gas work. We will investigate. So someone like Nick will go out there and investigate the work. However, we can't just go, so I always say to people, if you just said to me, the guy Dave down the pub is fitting boilers illegally, there's nothing we can do with that. We need as much information as possible so that we can create a kind of trail so that we can even get to the property in the first place. So, I mean, what sort of stuff would you be looking for information, Nick, that really helps you when you're doing the investigation?
Full name and address, if we can get that. A telephone contact number, if we can get that. In the first instance, we write to the customer and say we believe you may have had work carried out by somebody who's not registered. We don't tend to use the word illegal, I don't think. Somebody who's not registered, and ask them if you can come along and give a free safety check on that installation. Some people just ignore the letter. Other people think, oh, well, perhaps there's something here. I'll get it looked at. It's not going to cost me anything. Unfortunately, what they don't realise is if there's something wrong there, we have to take appropriate action as any other gas installer or engineer would.
Yeah, because of course, it needs to be pointed out that I think it's something like 60% of the illegal work that we investigate that you discover like an ID or an AR situation there.
Yep.
So, it's really important to that you do get this gas safe registered engineer doing your gas work. And also when somebody wants to report illegal gas work, they can do it via the phone. They can do it on the website, of course. It can be done, or you can either give us your name. So if you want to give us your name so we can contact you further to get some further details, or you can do it anonymously, so there's many ways you can do it. You won't be, if you're reporting it, if you're not the homeowner, you won't be privy to the report, obviously, due to GDPR and stuff like that. But so like I always say, gas safe registered engineers are the only ones legally allowed to fit gas boilers and work on gas. If they're not gas safe registered, they shouldn't be doing it. But so another thing you get involved in with Nick as well is you do the kind of incident investigations. Is that right?
It is, yeah. Been doing that for more than 20 years, I believe now.
Oh, well. So what I mean, obviously we can't go into details about specific incidents, but what would that involve generally?
Yeah, again, arriving on site, hands in pockets, get as much evidence as you can from the people involved. It's quite often sad because you're meeting the relatives of that have lost a family member. We get quite a bit of that. So you might be talking to a mother or father, and they've lost a child. Often, a lot of instances we go to, we're there really to find out if it was carbon monoxide related, and then how things can be improved, how it could have been avoided, things like that, and giving a report ready for court. Incidents are many and varied. We get some where people have just been they've just been poisoned. They've gone off to the doctor, and the doctor's asked have you had any new appliances, all that kind of thing, and they come back and say yes, we want an inspection. There's quite a few different routes people take to get to us. We mainly doing for the health and safety, but other bodies can go to the health and safety now and request permission to bring us in on site. So that can be the fire service, the police, local authorities. We attend things such as sudden deaths or unexplained deaths, and we'll go there, and often we're being used just to eliminate CO from their inquiries. Some of the jobs I've been to, they've taken samples from the deceased, and the coroner will come back to us and say it's either heart attack, strangulation, or CO poisoning, and they usually think it's going to be CO poisoning or just natural causes. But we're there to go in, test all the appliances, and eliminate CO if it wasn't involved. Yeah.
Okay, must be very interesting. Like I say, very
It is
sad.
interesting, yeah.
Very
Especially
sad at
if
times.
children. I've been to jobs where children have been involved. House
Yeah,
fire with children involved. Carbon monoxide poisonings with children, and that's always sad. Especially when you look up on the wall above the fire and you see pictures of the family members in happier
yeah,
times, and you realise up to a few hours before they were alive and well.
yeah. Very tragic. Very tragic. Well, thank you for coming in today, Nick. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Bye.